My family mocked me with a cheap buffet and a card saying I wasn't worth a real gift. 3 days later, my $23 million deal made them panic in the group chat. I 29M, sitting in a sticky sales space at Golden Dragon Buffet, staring at the birthday card they gave me. The rough paper felt extraordinary in my palms as I reread those phrases that modified everything. Maybe next year you will do something really worth an actual present. My mother became watching me, her fork hovering over her plate of questionable sweet and bitter chicken. My older brother becomes smirking from throughout the table at the same time as his spouse scrolled via her telephone, slightly acknowledging me. My sister became already off for her 1/3 experience to the dessert station. The humming fluorescent lighting fixtures above forged a harsh glare over all of it. This changed into how I celebrated turning 29, in a place in which the egg rolls regarded like they had been under heat lamps since the Clinton years. I thanked them for the thoughtful card, retaining my voice constant as something cold settled in my chest. They had no concept about the efforts I'd installed over the last years. They didn't know approximately the overdue nights, the sacrifices, and the quiet determination that had ate up me. My brother launched into his common lecture approximately responsibility and how I needed to take my destiny significantly. He jogged my memory how with the aid of my age, he had already sold his first residence and turned into a nearby supervisor. His wife nodded with disapproval approximately my career choices. My sister back with a plate piled high with chocolate cake and ice cream, commenting on how the buffet turned into suitable without spending a dime leisure at the same time as I attempted to faux this changed into everyday. My mother laughed, pronouncing maybe sadness builds character. I pulled out my telephone, snapped a picture of the cardboard, ensuring the tacky sales space became in the history. I posted it on social media with the caption, "Birthday wishes from the circle of relatives. Grateful for the incentive." After that, I stood up, hugged each one goodbye, and stepped out into the parking lot. The evening air felt fresher than the stale ecosystem in the restaurant. I drove home to my small condo, the card sitting within the passenger seat like evidence of something that had simply died. That nighttime, I made 3 phone calls. The primary changed into to my lawyer, confirming the paperwork changed into set. The second turned into to my accountant, checking if the switch documents had been equipped. The third was to my assistant, letting her understand we ought to continue with the statement on Monday. I had been secretly developing a cellular app for 2 years. No longer simply any app, however one that would remodel how humans control their small commercial enterprise budget. I was running 16-hour days, surviving on ramen and espresso, and turning down infinite social invites to attention on coding and market research. 6 months in the past, Tech Worldwide Industries reached out via contacts, having been following my work and wanting to buy my app. The negotiations were severe, carried out entirely through NDAs and discreet conferences downtown. Closing week, I signed the very last papers. The acquisition became really worth $23 million prematurely, plus royalties and a position as a senior development representative. I kept it a mystery to look who without a doubt supported me when the idea I had not anything to offer. And the solution was painfully obvious. Replace one. Monday morning came with that crisp autumn air that makes the whole thing sense possible. I awoke in my rental for the remaining time, containers already packed inside the nook. My new region is a downtown loft with floor-to-ceiling windows and a view of the metropolis skyline. The press launch went stay at 9 a.m. Local developer sells modern finance app to Tech Worldwide for multi-million greenback deal. The Enterprise magazine featured it as their lead tale, complete with my photograph and information about the 2 to 12 months development system. With the 8 of 10 a.m., my phone buzzed with notifications. LinkedIn messages from former colleagues, congratulatory texts from pals I hadn't heard from in months, and interview requests from local information stations. The tale stuck the attention of tech blogs and enterprise guides. But the own family organization chat turned into silent. I spent the morning in meetings with Tech International's transition team, discussing my new function and the way we'd combine my app into their platform. The office became everything I dreamed of, modern-day, creative, full of individuals who got innovation and threat. My new manager showed me around the development lab, introducing me to the team I'd be leading. These have been exquisite programmers and designers who immediately recognized what I'd built. For the primary time in years, I felt like I was proper in which I belonged. Round midday, my cell phone buzzed with the first own family message. My brother dispatched a link to the information article, surely writing, critically, then the floodgates opened. My mother called 6 times in a row. Once I sooner or later answered, she changed into almost hyperventilating, asking why I hadn't told them about any of this. She desired to recognize how lengthy I'd been keeping secrets and if I was disillusioned about something. I informed her I wasn't angry, just focused on my work. I explained that I wanted area to concentrate, warding off distractions. She asked if I used to be dissatisfied approximately the birthday dinner, her voice getting smaller. I stated the dinner turned into exactly what I had anticipated. Nothing more, nothing less. My sister texted, asking if this turned into why I'd been so weird lately, continually declining family gatherings and running continuously. She questioned if I had planned this entire dramatic monitor to lead them to experience responsible. I replied that there has been nothing dramatic about working tough and achieving achievement. I said I used to be busy building something significant while they focused on other things. My brother referred to as next, his tone absolutely extraordinary from 3 days in the past. Unexpectedly, I used to be his awesome little brother destined for exquisite things. He wanted to know if I wanted assist handling my finances or if his agency could offer services for my new role. I advised him I already had wonderful advisors. Thank you for asking. Replace. By way of Wednesday, the tale had grown past what I predicted. Tech International stock fee jumped 12% after the purchase announcement. Enterprise analysts called my app a breakthrough for small business monetary control. 3 challenge capital companies reached out about destiny tasks. Greater importantly, the neighborhood enterprise community turned into noticing. The mayor's office called approximately featuring my story of their economic development marketing campaign. The college where I studied computer science wanted me to talk at their entrepreneurship software. My own family's reaction went from surprise to near panic. My mom confirmed up at my old area Tuesday evening. Most effective to discover it empty besides for the cleansing crew I employed. The landlord told her I'd moved out that morning. She called me crying, asking in which I had long gone and why I was slicing them out of my lifestyles. I assured her that I wasn't slicing anyone out. I defined my pass become to an extra appropriate location given my new circumstances. I gave her my new address and invited her to go to as soon as I used to be settled. My sister had sincerely spent hours scrolling through my social media searching out clues approximately my secret undertaking. She discovered posts from coding meetups and tech conferences I had attended over the last 12 months. Activities she had unnoticed when I mentioned them at family gatherings. She dispatched me a long message apologizing for now not taking note of what I was working on. She admitted they all concept I was simply messing around with computers, now not absolutely building whatever critical. She requested if we could clutch lunch to capture up. My brother's approach was greater truthful. He desired to recognize if I deliberate to assist the family financially now that I had sources. He cautioned pooling our money for higher investments or perhaps helping our dad and mom with retirement planning. I advised him I'd bear in mind family economic planning once I secured my very own lengthy time period balance. I noted being strategic with predominant choices in preference to performing hastily. The maximum thrilling improvement came Thursday morning. I were given a call from Jennifer Martinez, the Way of Life reporter for our metropolis's largest newspaper. She'd been following the story and desired to put in writing a bit about my journey from unknown developer to tech fulfillment. At some stage in the interview, she requested approximately my own family's reaction to the information. I advised her they'd been surprised but supportive, which changed into technically authentic. She wanted to recognize why I labored in secrecy for 2 years. I explained I wished whole recognition for the duration of development and that sharing too early may want to compromise the assignment or create unrealistic expectations. I stated that the tech enterprise rewards outcomes over promises. She requested approximately my destiny plans, and that I shared my new consulting position and the capacity for growing extra programs. I emphasized my commitment to innovation and supporting other marketers attain their goals. The item ran Friday morning, titled From Code to Cash, Nearby Developer's Secret Route to Fulfillment. It portrayed me as a dedicated innovator who sacrificed everything to pursue my vision. The image showed me in Tech Global's cutting-edge workplace, looking confident and professional. Update 3. The newspaper article changed the whole lot. By means of Friday afternoon, I was getting invites to talk at 3 specific business conferences and be part of 2 expert advisory boards. A startup incubator wanted me to mentor their next organization of marketers. On a personal notice, folks that had brushed me off for years have been suddenly achieving out with newfound appreciation. Former classmates who slightly stated me at reunions had been sending congratulations and asking about collaboration possibilities. However, Saturday's own family organization chat certainly confirmed how a lot the dynamic had shifted. My mom forwarded the newspaper article to prolonged circle of relatives, proudly announcing her son's fulfillment to loved ones who'd formerly dealt with me just like the own family underachiever. She planned a right birthday celebration dinner at an upscale restaurant downtown. My sister desired to carry her buddies to satisfy her a success brother, bragging approximately my accomplishment at paintings, desiring to return up her testimonies with actual introductions. My brother became exploring business opportunities that could gain from my tech expertise and connections. He'd been getting to know the cellular app marketplace, thinking we ought to crew up on destiny tasks. I sat in my new loft, watching the town lighting flicker on as night fell, realizing everything had modified besides for one fundamental reality: approximately those people. They hadn't loved me more when they notion I was a failure, just as they didn't love me greater now that I used to be successful. Their feelings about me had constantly been conditional, based totally on what I ought to provide them as opposed to who I used to be. The birthday card still sat on my table, reminding me of that moment, when their genuine feelings have been discovered. Maybe subsequent 12 months you'll do something well worth a real gift. I had achieved something well worth a ways more than a present. I had earned my freedom. Sunday morning, I sent a message to the Circle of Relatives institution chat. I thanked them for his or her congratulations and stated I favored their aid. I stated I'd learned precious classes about self-reliance and determination during the last years. I defined my new function would contain widespread journey and lengthy hours, so my availability for Circle of Relatives gatherings would be restrained for a while. I was hoping they'd recognize my expert duties needed to come first for the duration of this vital segment of my career. My mother straight away referred to as worried if I was disillusioned approximately the birthday dinner. She insisted they'd just been teasing because they cared and that families must shaggy dog story with every other. I instructed her I understood their intentions were properly, however all and sundry have been honest, approximately their expectations, and now I used to be being honest about mine. She asked what that intended, and that I defined that I'd learned to value relationships primarily based on authentic help instead of conditional approval. I stated I'd consciousness my energy on those who believed in me for the duration of tough instances, not simply while matters have been correct. My brother texted, asking if that meant I was cutting them off financially and emotionally. He desired to recognize if there was whatever they might do to mend anything damage have been performed. I advised him there was no damage to repair. All and sundry had revealed their proper feelings, and now we could all flow ahead with complete honesty approximately our expectations. The truth was less difficult than they wanted to confess. For years, they dealt with me like a person who didn't count number, whose goals and efforts have been really worth mockery in preference to encouragement. They made it clear that I had minimal value to them. Now that they had been getting to know my price to the world changed into huge, they desired to renegotiate our dating based on this new facts. But I'd found out something greater valuable than any app development or commercial enterprise deal. I learned that real success method having the freedom to pick who merits access in your life. That cheap buffet birthday became, in fact, a present. It gave me clear perception into who those people honestly have been once they thought I had nothing to provide. Now that I had the whole lot to provide, I would be selective approximately who received it. 3 months later, I'm scripting this from my office at Tech International, main a team of 12 developers on our subsequent groundbreaking mission. My calendar is packed with meetings with traders, talking engagements at universities, and consulting calls with startups nationwide. My family nonetheless texts me every now and then, sharing information and asking approximately my work. They're polite now, showing admire in a way they never did before. However, that clean familiarity has vanished, changed by using something extra formal and careful. They discovered that treating a person as though they don't rely has effects. They located that disregarding a person's efforts and dreams can completely trade how that man or woman views you. I discovered that success isn't pretty much hitting objectives. It's approximately respecting folks that stood by way of you via the journey and spotting people who made it clean you were taking walks on my own. The birthday card now sits framed on my workplace wall, a reminder of whilst the whole lot became clear. Every now and then, visitors ask approximately it, and that I inform them it's the most motivating gift I ever received, as it taught me that the most effective validation that truly counts is the type you give yourself.